How you going, guys? Dean Simbeck from the World Eaters blog for the Blood God here with our very first video battle report. Alright, I'll start off by getting straight into the armies that'll be participating. First is my mate's Eldar army, which has got two squads of Guardian Defenders, both with Surican cannons, no, Star Cannons, sorry. A squad of Dire Avengers with the X-Arch and the Dire Sword. Squad of 5 Fire Dragons with the X-Arch with the Fire Pike and Fast Shot. A pretty much standard kitted out Wave Serpent, but with vectored engines, so he can pivot after all that crap. And then also an Avatar of Cain. And then as for my World Eaters that I'll be bringing, we've got Chaos Lord with the Axe of Blind Fury, and 3 Chaos Terminators with Combi Melters and Power Axes. 2 squads of stock standard Chaos Cultists, a Land Raider for transporting the Terminators and the Lord, and a Chaos Helldrake. So it's an 850 point battle, and yeah, we'll get into deployment and mission type. Okay, that's deployment complete. We actually forgot when setting out the armies that the Chaos Space Marine list had a Mauler Fiend as well, so Chaos roll to deploy first. They've deployed their Land Raider and their Mauler Fiend, and they've kept the Terminators and the Lord in the Land Raider, the Cultists and the Helldrakes are all in reserves. And for the Eldar deployment, let me just get around the other side of the table. They've deployed their Wave Serpent with the Fire Dragons on the far right hand side, then they've got their Avatar of Cain, Guardian Defender squad up there holding that objective. Squad of Dire Avengers pretty much centre of the board, ready to sort of go wherever they need to go, and the second squad of Guardian Defenders over here ready to capture that side of the table. So we rolled the Crusade mission and then managed to get 5 objectives, so the objectives are placed relatively scattered throughout the board. They don't really seem to be tipping towards any side, so it should be an interesting game. Alrighty, let's get into it. Okay, that's the end of Chaos turn 1. Relatively uneventful. Land Raider just moved forward about 11 inches and then deployed its smoke launchers, and the Mauler Fiend's following closely behind it. Not much really happened here, so let's see what Eldar can do in response. Okay, the end of the Eldar first turn was quite devastating for the Chaos. The Eldar managed to move their Wave Serpent forward, drop out their Fire Dragons and slaughter the Land Raider. Then in turn they fired pretty much the rest of their army at the Terminator squad, but that only managed to kill 1 Terminator. There was lots of really good 2+ saves in there. But still, first blood goes to the Eldar, and without the Land Raider, let's see how Chaos can handle turn 2. Okay, that's the end of Chaos turn 2. They managed to get their Helldrake on in reserves, which just simply moved up and flamed all the Fire Dragons and cleared them off the table. They also got some Cultists in reserves, which have come on and just held that backfield objective. And then we got a bit messy up here. The Chaos Terminators Combi Melters managed to torch the Wave Serpent because it had used its Serpent Shield to fire in the previous round. It didn't get the benefit to the penetrating hits. Then the Chaos Lord and the Mauler Fiend both charged the Avatar, and the Avatar slaughtered the Lord in a challenge, and then in return the Mauler Fiend inflicted a single wound on the Avatar. So pretty eventful turn 2. Let's see how turn 2 for Eldar turns out. Okay, so the end of the Eldar turn 2. For movement, they just moved their Dire Avengers and the Guardian Defender squads forward in order to claim some objectives. The other Guardian Defender squad sat back and shot and killed both Terminators with their Star Cannon. And the eventful thing of this round was actually the Mauler Fiend versus Avatar. The Avatar failed to do any damage at all to the Mauler Fiend, and he managed to actually take 2 wounds off of the Avatar. So it'll be interesting to see how that assault pans out. The Mauler Fiend might actually get that Avatar and slay a Warlord. But yeah, so let's jump straight into turn 3 and see what happens. Okay, that's the end of Chaos turn 3. Heldrake moved forward and flamed all of the Guardian Defenders off of that objective, managed to kill 6 of them, and then the other ones fell back off the edge of the board. And unfortunately for me, the Avatar slayed the Mauler Fiend in that round of assault before the Mauler Fiend even got to attack. So now I've got an single wound Avatar left, and not a great deal of options for killing it, considering it's immune to the Flamer of the Bale Flamer. So yeah, we'll just see what happens with the Eldar turn 3. Okay, that was an extremely quick and very uneventful turn 3 for Eldar. They figured spin his Avatar around and fire at the Heldrake's rear. It's a very long shot, but he hasn't got much else on the table that's able to do any damage to that Heldrake, so he thought he'd go for it, but he missed his snapshot. Dire Avengers moved forward slightly to make sure that they're holding that objective entirely, and the Defender Guardians, fired at the Heldrake as well, but failed to hit. So that's the end of the Eldar turn 3. Let's get into turn 4. Now that's the end of turn 4 Chaos. Heldrake simply pivoted 90 degrees, flew over the Dire Avengers, Vector Strike killing 4, and then Bale Flamed killing another, 4? And the cultists move forward a little bit to try and get to that objective, even though they're probably going to be met by the Avatar. Other than that, nothing really happened this turn. Let's get into Eldar turn. Eldar turn 4, very, very interesting. The Avatars just moved forward to get closer to threaten those cultists off that objective, but the interesting thing was, these 2 little bastards managed to inflict 2 hull points on the Heldrake's rear armor. They got very lucky with their rolls, and I got very unlucky with my invulnerable saves, so you never know, maybe that Heldrake will go down. Fingers crossed it doesn't, because then I'm just left with cultists, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Let's get into Chaos turn 5. Okay, another very quick yet eventful Chaos turn. The cultists have moved forward to hold that objectives, and they're just praying that that Avatar rolls Snake Eyes for his charge distance, because otherwise they're boned. But the Heldrake managed to Vector Strike and then Bale Flamer, killing an entire squad of Guardian Defenders. So that Bale Flamer has just kicked ass this game. So now at the moment it holds, Chaos holds 2, Eldar holds 1, but Eldar still have another turn to see if they can maybe take the cultists out or something like that. But let's see how Eldar go for their turn 5. Unfreaking believable. Avatar attempts to charge the cultists in the turn 5 for the Eldar, and as impossible as this sounds, the cultists managed to kill the Avatar in Overwatch with their auto pistols. Freaking amazing, the amount of 6s that were in that roll is freaking unbelievable. Nothing else really changed for this turn, because the only other unit that the Eldar have was these Dire Avengers, and they're currently holding an objective, so they don't plan to go anywhere. So now we're going to roll to see if the game continues, and if it's over, it'll be over. So, what do we got there? 5. So the game continues for one more turn. Let's get into Chaos turns. Okay, Chaos for their turn 6. Heldrake entered hover mode, spun back, and torched the remaining 2 Dire Avengers. So that's tabled, that's game, Chaos. It was a very, very good game. There was some moments there where I was shitting my pants thinking that these Eldar guys had me, but it turns out that Heldrake is just too powerful for an infantry-based army like what my mate brought. So, very good game, very interesting. There was some standout stuff like the Avatar getting killed by cultists and things like that. But yeah, definitely every single Chaos player that's watching this, buy several Heldrakes. That's all I have to say. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.